Simsy Claire here and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are doing another Baking with the Sims episode. This episode, we are going to be baking chocolate chip cookies alongside my sim, and this one I think is going to be a little interesting because I always watch how the Sims make them before I do this, so I can kind of see how it's already going to compare, and it's very different this time around between what the Sims put in their chocolate chip cookies and what I have to go through to make them. So I hope you all enjoyed this one, and let's get into it. Okay guys, so I thought we would do this one a little differently. Cookies really don't take that long to make, so I thought I would include a little bit more of like the measuring out process. And if you guys don't like it, just let me know in the comments down below and we will go back to how I did the brownies where I kind of pre-measured everything. But today we are using the Nestle Toll House chocolate chip cookie recipe. Now I've used this recipe since I was a child and I have never ever found a better chocolate chip cookie recipe than the one on the back of the bags for Nestle Toll House chocolate chips. So 100% recommend. I would never go with another Nestle or another chocolate chip cookie recipe. I don't know, people from other countries, I don't know if you have Nestle Toll House. I don't know. If you don't, then Google their recipe online because you will be amazed at how amazing these cookies turn out. But the recipe calls for 2 sticks of butter, or about 1 cup. So I'm gonna just soften these in the microwave. And then in with the butter is going to go the 2 types of sugar. So this recipe does call for white sugar and brown sugar. So it's 3/4 a cup of each. So I'm just gonna go ahead and measure out my sugar. Butter needs just a little bit longer, and again we are gonna have to cream these 3 ingredients in the mixer, so I will skip over that part just because the mixer is way too loud. And if you hear a little bit of like running water in the background, that is my dishwasher. I totally forgot I was going to film this when I ran the dishes, and then I came up here and I was like, oh crap, the dishwasher's on. But I didn't want to stop it halfway through because our dishwasher's been having some issues. So I do apologize if that gets annoying. I'm gonna try and cut it out as much as possible, but I'll see what I can do. And then we have our butter from the microwave. It's a little too melted, but it's okay. So the butter and the sugar are all creamed together. Now I'm going to show you this because this does look different than the brownies that we were doing, and that has to do with the ratios. So this one I hopefully won't almost spill out of the bowl when I try to show you guys. So this is what this one looks like. You can see it's very liquidy. That's partially because I melted the butter, and that's also partially because like I said, the ratios are different. And then after we cream these 2 together, we are going to add the eggs. So it's 2 eggs. And we have vanilla. Again, just boop. Technically supposed to be a teaspoon, but we don't need measuring spoons here. And I have a little bowl here that we're going to be putting our dry ingredients into. So this is regular all-purpose flour, and it's 2 cups, 2 1/4 cups of this. And then after the flour, we're going to put in the baking soda, and it's 1 teaspoon. Now your baking soda, I would definitely measure. I wouldn't eyeball your baking soda or your salt when it comes to like teaspoons and stuff, because if you put too much baking soda or baking powder, whichever one you're using, into your baked goods, you can actually taste it. It adds this like really weird, like almost acid taste to them. It's because it's the rising agent. It's what binds and rises the cookies or whatever you're baking. So measure that. And then teaspoon of salt. And this, and we're going to mix them together. I have no idea how this is going to go because I don't know if any of you have ever actually sat there and watched your Sims bake cookies in the game, but they just put like a spice in them. Like they literally, like they have their initial ingredients, like the cutting board that they just magically grab out of the refrigerator, and they dump that into the bowl and instantly it's all liquid. And then they just take like a shaker, like a salt and pepper shaker, and they just keep shaking that into their brownies or their cookies. And I was watching my Sim do this and I was like, what is that even supposed to be? I'm like, is it like a shaker of chocolate chips? Is that like, is it salt? Is it the flour? Do they keep their flour in shakers? I had no idea what was supposed to be happening in that. And there's no like, literally there's no other ingredients. It's just whatever they take off of the cutting board and then the salt shaker. And I'm like, and obviously I'm not just dumping a salt shaker into my cookies. That would be ridiculous. So it's gonna look very different this time around between what I'm doing and what my Sim is doing. And now that that is all mixed, we are going to add the chocolate chips. So it says 2 cups of chocolate chips. So we're just gonna, I'm gonna eyeball this again. I think it should be about like half a bag. Yeah. I realized after I put the whisk in here with the chocolate chips that I probably should have been using my spatula, because the chocolate chips are now, like, you can see it. There's just like a glob of dough stuck in there from the chocolate chips. It's almost like a children's toy because it keeps moving around every time I move the whisk. It's just, there we go. Okay, so this is what the batter looks like. Now, usually mine's a little darker than this, but the only brown sugar I had was light brown sugar. Usually I use dark brown sugar, and that used to be what the recipe actually called for, but they changed it just to any type of brown sugar. So it won't change the taste of it. It'll be, I think, technically a little less sweet than if you use the brown sugar, because all brown sugar is pretty much is regular sugar mixed with molasses. So it'll be a little less sweet than my childhood chocolate chip cookies, but considering I just dumped extra chocolate chips in here, I'm pretty sure it'll be okay. We are going to be using this pan. You can already see that there's like cookie marks on it. That's from my sister. She likes to burn cookies when she makes them. And actually, my dad prefers burnt chocolate chip cookies. So when I take some of these out of the oven, you will see that some of them I burn on purpose or by accident. And I'm just gonna tell you I did it on purpose. But he prefers his cookies burnt because he likes them nice and crispy to dip in his coffee. So some of these are going to be a little darker. I swear I'm a professional. Now, the Sims, unlike the brownie batter, they don't taste their chocolate chip cookie batter, but yeah, that's pretty good. I always have to taste what I'm baking or cooking. A, it's what you're supposed to do, and B, you can't put chocolate in front of me and not expect me to eat it. So this is the tray of cookies. It's I got four rows of 5, so it's about 20 cookies. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these in the oven, and then we'll do another batch when these come out. Okay guys, so both trays of cookies are now out of the oven. That batch got me about 40 cookies because it was 20 per tray. And I have to say, these look pretty good. I'm trying to make sure they don't fall off the plate, but yeah, I'm gonna show some screenshots at the end like I did last time, but to me, these look like some pretty darn good cookies. Now this is the second tray. These turned out a lot better. These other ones that I have kind of shoved over here in the corner, they're a little thinner and they're a little dark on the bottom, so those are gonna be from my dad, who prefers burnt cookies. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all next time. Bye!